Men don't give up money for love. That's what women do. Okay. Hey, Samore Love Bugs. What's up? What's going on? So today we're going to be doing our chit chat on Black Ink Crew, okay? So not gonna go over everything, although I do see I have a lot of notes here, so it's gonna feel like it's almost like a regular recap. Just a little less animation, I guess. So Ceasar and Dutchess, they're like in a really awkward place right now. And I really do feel like they need to sit down and have a real like conversation. It's like, I feel like when they're having their little conversation that they have, Ceasar gives in for the moment, but that's not his real heart. That's not what he really feels. And I feel like a lot of times Dutchess overpowers the situation or the conversations because she knows his weaknesses. And she kind of pushes him to say what she wants him to say, even though that's not what's really in his heart. And that's ultimately going to mess up everything because they're not being real with each other. And that's how they kind of got together, is by being so real with each other in the beginning. Donna, she's back and she's going to do Tyler again. And the tattoo actually came out real good this time around. She had to like take her time. It was crazy how she was doing the drawing and she wasn't doing too good, and Dutchess was kind of like, it seems like her mind wasn't really on it. And in the commentary she was like, I don't know if she's thinking about that bastard child inside of her or if she's thinking about the next D that she's going to hop on. And you know, then following that, I felt like the editing for this particular scene was just so bad and not timed correctly, because once she said that line, the next line was showing Donna saying that she had a miscarriage. And you know, now Donna would have to look back at that and see her say that prior to them having their conversation. And it was put together poorly and not really thinking about people's feelings. That's how I feel about that particular scene. You know, definitely sorry to hear that she had a miscarriage, and nobody deserves to have to go through that. She got so far along that she was able to know what it was that she was supposed to have. So I couldn't even imagine going through something like that. Like, I've just heard so many stories and it just sounds so traumatizing. So the new chick, Blue, she comes into the shop and she's looking for O. She comes in and she shows him, bam! She shows him a little, what you call it, test, a little, I was gonna say paternity test, a little P test, you know, showing if she's pregnant or not. And he just gets so upset, he flips out. And then after he calms down a little bit, I mean, he was doing a tattoo, then he got all crazy, then he went back to go do the tattoo. Thank goodness he didn't go and start doing the tattoo right away, because I feel like it would have been some pain, you know, because when you're frustrated, you're just not thinking properly, and you're causing scars and all kind of stuff inside people's skin. So good thing he was just like, okay, let me go talk to her. So they had their little conversation, and luckily she's not really pregnant, but she's kind of like, you know, maybe we got to scale back a little bit. And he's like, well, maybe I should get that vasectomy. And for me, I feel like that's not the answer. Oh, the answer is to stop having sex with all these women, you know, unprotected, because that's ultimately what it's coming down to. You're not having protected sex. Who knows if somebody that you're sticking your stuff inside of has some kind of disease, you know? It's like he's not thinking logically. It's almost like sex is his drug, especially now that he doesn't have his actual drugs that he's taking anymore. It's almost like that's kind of making up for everything. And well, I can't even say that because it looked like he's been doing that throughout the whole time that we've known him. He's been having sex unprotected and just having kids all over the place. He's lucky that that was just like a scare. Dutchess, she's trying on dresses, but in her face, Sky can see that things aren't right with her. She's not really focused on everything. And she kind of gets defensive when Sky asks her about it, even though it was privately. She gets a little defensive and it's just like, okay, stop asking me about it. Stop talking about it. Stop trying to peel off and open up wounds because you're going to make things worse. Just chill out. And luckily it didn't get them off to like in a big argument or anything like that. Sky kind of respected the way that she was feeling. She was just like, it's all good. You know, I understand. That's it. Let's get back to trying on these outfits. So following that, Puma, he now wants to open up a new shop, And Sassy, at first, she was kind of like, oh my God, here we go. I think it's too soon. But then when he showed her that she's part of his vision, she seemed like she was getting excited. Like, okay, we're about to do this again. You know, it was a lot of work that we did before and it kind of just went down the drain. But she seems like she's willing to try it again. He says he has a lot of connections that are reaching out to him, want to work with him. And he just wants to get that back. Once you've had a taste of being your own boss or assistant boss or whatever the hell he was, it's a place that you don't want to go back. You know, you don't want to take a step backwards. So I totally understand what he's saying and why he wants to open up a new shop, and he just wants to show like, okay, I can do this. I don't need anybody's help, or he probably will need somebody's help, maybe an investor or something, but I can do this. But he just really needs to like stay out of trouble. And it's so crazy how, because he mentioned the fact that Kwani's probably not going to want to come back up. Right now she's in ATL and she's expecting him to come down, but he wants to like do what he got to do. All his connections, everything is up here in New York. I mean, for businesses and things like that, New York is a good place as far as like, especially if you're in media and things like that. New York is the it place to be. So either New York or usually LA. So going to ATL, I feel like he's right. It wouldn't really help his business. And maybe Kwani just doesn't understand that. And plus that would take him away from Black Ink, which is what he has going. That's all he has going on right now, I think. I mean, I think he had a clothing line before. I don't know how that's going. But from what we see, that's all he has going on right now. So he definitely needs to keep that going, as well as his, I think he does club hostings and things like that. Most of them are probably going to be in New York, or he could travel around to wherever they are. So it's crazy, like I was saying, it's crazy how him and Ceasar, they both have similar situations where their women kind of want them to go to down south to do whatever and just be with them. And they both feel like, yo, I grew up here, this is what I have, and I want to dominate here before I go or think about going anywhere else. Kathy, she goes to see O, and she found out that he's having a vasectomy, and she's just trying to talk him out of it. She says that she's against it, and she feels like this will be his downfall. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. It goes hand in hand. She feels like he can get an STD. He's gonna be slinging that thing all around the town, boop, 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 everywhere. And you're not thinking about STDs. You're not thinking about HIV, which is an STD, but it's like the monster of them all. It's just so many things out there. Like, it's freaky, and it should scare him. Like, I feel like he needs to go to like a hospital lesson or a sex education class or lesson or something, and just learn about all these things so he can be creeped out, because it's creepy, it's yucky, it grosses you out. I mean, pleasure is not worth the pain of risking your life, losing your life. And that's the same thing she was saying. She doesn't want to plan his funeral. But I do feel like her judgment or her decisions are kind of jaded in a sense where, is that the right words to say? It might be. Because the reason why I say that is because I feel as though she kind of doesn't want him to get it. And he said this too. She might not want him to get it because she feels like they still have a chance. And if they still have a chance, they probably could have another kid. So if he does this, it's messing up their future. I kind of feel like that's from the way she was talking, how she cares about him, how she gave him the magic rock. I'm like, a magic rock? She said she put her energy in there and it's to protect him. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I would be carrying that rock around. I mean, I definitely believe in energy, both good and bad. So that's why I don't know. I don't trust her. She kind of crazy. She seems like she a little better now, but I don't know with that one. She a little, Ceasar and Dutchess, they go to see an Obia man, aka what they call here, I guess, a spiritual advisor. And I'm like, where this guy at? I ain't never seen him before, but it looked like he doing it out of his apartment. I'll tell you, if my mama would have found out about him, she would have been going, oh, come on, let's go to this man. Nah, I ain't messing with it. I'm over them stages. Because some of them, they creep you out. I remember I met with one of them a long time ago, but that's a whole nother story. Anyways, so yeah, this is a spiritual advisor, and he does his little stuff with the bones or the shells or whatever it was that he had, and he asked the spirits to tell him about their relationship, and he said that the spirits say that they're going in 2 different directions. And that's exactly what I said an episode, 2 episodes ago. He says one thing, she says another thing. Maybe not when they're face to face, but in the confessionals, the commentaries, they always are saying 2 different things. And it's crazy because that's not, you can't really have a relationship off of that. And it seems like they're moving a little bit too quickly. There's so many things that they have to kind of fix before they can start their future, because he doesn't want to move. She doesn't want to be there. And what ultimately happens is at the last scene, they show that she gives him a kiss goodbye and she takes her bags, and once again she gone, just like she did before when she left and he had to go and get her in Paris. Wasn't that in Paris when they put the little locks on the gate and he ended up proposing? And then, so yeah, we got this again. But let me know what y'all thought about this episode down below. Thanks for watching. Check out my other channel, Samore Love TV. That's where I have all my hair reviews, honey. I get you beautified. Stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I'll see you in the next one. Later.